Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. I just want to check my audio. All right. Morning, everybody.
Good morning. Happy little under a week till Christmas, everybody.
Yeah. It's hard to believe it's like gone this quick. Like
2023 just about done.
yeah. We're supposed to have flying cars by now, aren't we? Or
Yeah, that's what they
25.
told me when I was a kid.
Yeah. Like, what's up with that? We don't have them here. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. On today's episode, we thought it would be not only respectful, but just kind of like I know it was kind of a traumatic event last year. We had quite a bad storm. It's been about exactly a year today.
Yep, I believe this weekend, Saturday or Sunday, is the beginning of it.
Yeah.
The 1 year anniversary of
Yep.
Winter Storm Elliott, Blizzard of 22.
Yep. And it was crazy because like we're no strangers to snow, obviously, here in Buffalo. Like we've had pretty much every year we have a pretty decent sized storm.
Yeah, at least one.
And it wasn't even really the amount of snow because we remember like Snowember, like 5 years ago, we got 7 feet of snow over the course of like what was it, like
2 days.
2 days, 3 days or something? Yeah.
Some insanely fast, just
Yeah.
absolutely came down. They're like 2 or 3 inches an hour.
Yeah. And what made this so severe is the winds. The winds were just beyond and they were consistent the whole time. All right.
I mean, you see that shoe.
All right, there you go. But that's what made it so crazy was it was like it wasn't even like a wow factor of like the snow. It was more like the winds were so bad. That's what like cut down the visibility, which ultimately led to people being stranded. I think it's just because
Like they said, our top wind speed was 79 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's crazy.
During the storm, and we were still getting like 60 to 70 mile an hour gusts after the brunt of it.
Yeah, and the gusts, or I think just the consistent wind speed, like just normal, I believe was in the 40s, 30s or 40s.
Not to get too terribly, gross with this, but during the blizzard of 22, I was an exterminator. I was on the road.
Yeah.
The weeks after the storm, a week or two after the storm passed, when I was able to resume my routes, I would find a lot of birds dead from the force of the wind, basically knocking them off of their flight, and they would hit things, and that's how heavy those winds were. Birds couldn't even withstand it.
And I wonder if the visibility also maybe played a factor for the birds. It had to have.
Had to.
I mean, because if it is an issue for us, I don't know why it wouldn't be an issue for birds. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, folks out there, if you do care about the birds in your yards, I would always recommend getting a couple of bird houses, a place for them to shelter when we get those winds, because it is very deadly for a little feathered from the outside.
And it's unfortunate because like it happened so fast too, and I think it's almost like we didn't even realize how severe it was until it was well underway. And it's unfortunate because even with today's technology, everybody has phones. You would think that everybody got the emergency alerts and things like that. But it didn't always play out that way. And more so, I want to talk about that too. And I thought is you see like a lot of elderly people when they think they can that's where you see like the heart attacks happening during the winter too when they're shoveling and things like that. I think is people don't realize how much they're exerting themselves and they're working different muscles that they've never probably even worked before. And they're doing it in a short period of time. And I think also if you have too many layers on, that could also be an issue too. Like
you can overheat. Absolutely.
Especially if you're out there shoveling. So that was kind of another thing that led to some of the fatalities too. I feel like some people didn't check the news and just, went about their daily business. And it was just a kind of a sad series of events for quite a few people. I think we lost 47.
That's the official tally. That they reported just from hypothermia, people who were stranded outside. I know we lost a lot of first responders. Trying to get people to safety during the storm.
Yeah. It's just crazy because where we lived, we would think we have all the right like tools and supplies to prevent these things from happening, but sometimes the weather it changes so fast that you could have all the preparation in the world and you're still not ready.
Yeah, and of course you run into the problem where sometimes they'll forecast a big storm and it doesn't materialize.
Yeah.
So you might take the next storm warning a little more lightly, thinking, "Oh, the last one didn't pan out. This one isn't going to pan out."
Yeah.
and then it hits you like this. I mean, we had there's basically a 37-hour blizzard
Yeah.
plus 2 more days of lake effect snow.
Yeah.
That wasn't going anywhere anytime soon.
No. And the fact that it kept snowing after just made it even more ridiculous too, because like, oh, finally the wind slowed down, but now we're stuck here with still consistent snow dropping, so it was pretty wild. So
I mean, just for us here at Serpro, the South Towns, we're still a year later dealing with homes and businesses
yeah,
that were affected by the blizzard.
yeah,
I mean, a year later, that's how severe this was. How many businesses did we lose for the roof collapse?
yeah,
We lost the Bray Miller's Market here in Hamburg.
yep.
Uh,
One of the bowling alleys, they had
Yeah.
a roof collapse.
Oh, that was the Bray Miller's Bowling.
Oh, all right, that's
Yeah,
right,
that
that's
was the
right.
one. Yeah.
Yep. I remember it was so bad that I actually had to stop doing the marketing side for a little while, and I actually had to work in the office with the girls down there because we had to backlog. We had like 120 people. We had like a spreadsheet going back, um, just so we could keep up with and we have a very large crew here, and we can normally handle all of it. But when everybody's calling, it was pretty insane to see. But it was nice that everybody worked together as a team. Sunbelt Rentals, big shout out to them. They helped us out with some uh, dehumidifiers and a few other things as well. And just to see all these other serve pros work together as a team too, that was pretty neat to see because
Yeah.
and this was a little before your time, but I think I told you about it before.
Yeah.
But it's times like that where everybody does have to kind of come together and work together because uh, you can't expect one restoration company to be able to handle the entire city under something like that. So
Yeah. I mean, during the storm, when I was doing extermination, 2 weeks or so after it cleared out and I was able to begin resuming my routes going into the city of Buffalo, streets were still impassable.
Yeah.
But the neighbors were shoveling each other out.
Yeah.
Every day I would drive down the streets and I would see next door neighbors working together,
Yeah.
getting each other out of their homes, taking care of their elderly friends and family.
Yeah.
That is what makes Buffalo the city of good neighbors.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't realize it until you're in that moment where it's almost like everything else is put on the back burner. All that matters in that very moment is making sure that your friends and family have food, their power's on, things and so forth. So, like, I remember we were trading things between neighbors.
I know one of the neighborhoods I went into, one house somehow survived and kept power. The rest of the neighborhood was out of power. I mean, we had over 100,000 people without power for an extended period.
Yep.
But this one house kept power, and it became the neighborhood house.
Yeah.
They would invite everybody over to come over, get warm, have something hot to eat, take a hot shower if you needed.
Nice.
Yeah,
and they talk about that's like taking your shirt off your back for somebody, like that's really nice of somebody to do that, especially complete strangers, you know what I mean?
That's what Buffalo does.
Yeah.
We rally around each other.
Yeah. And I also wanted to point out we went over I wanted to bring up how the visibility was bad. We talked about how it was bad there was 72 hours straight of no visibility. So that's what made it so difficult. But all in all, I'm thinking in the near future here, I know the talks are in the works as far as like having future like preparations so we can avoid these things from happening in the future. And hopefully we don't have to endure another one anytime soon, but
hope not.
So far, knock on wood, it's been somewhat of a mild winter.
Yeah,
but we really haven't.
We had a couple of inches last night.
Yeah,
but nothing. And we're gonna have a warm and sunny Christmas week.
Yeah. So no snow on Christmas though, probably. Maybe.
No, they're saying no. Saying we're gonna have a green Christmas again this year.
All right.
But normally we get it, January, February. That's when we start getting the sub-zero temperatures.
Yeah, that's when it starts to really hit. So
it is coming.
Yep. Cool. Well, without further ado, let's jump into our wheel of names. See who our winner is. We got 191. Better not be Terra Nova Insurance because we're not giving you gifts anymore. No more gifts for you guys. All right, Lindsay from the Strum Agency. Congratulations, Lindsay. If you are watching, I will drop off a double prize. And if you're not watching, I will still drop off a single prize for you in person. Um, I hope everybody has a great holiday. It's hard to
Absolutely.
believe this will be the last episode of Breakfast with Disaster for the year, you know?
Yep.
And we're not coming back next year, are we? No, I'm just But all right, well, everybody have a great holiday. Happy New Year to everybody too. Drive safe. Don't do anything that Dan wouldn't do. Um, and we will see you guys here back next week at 10:10. Have a good rest of your week.
Merry Christmas, y'all.